Hello. Today we're going to talk about lesson 15, modality in discourse. So modality means you have now the types of modals, and today we're going to learn it in discourse analysis. Let's get it started. So first of all, we should make the objectives and outcomes clear. So you will be able to distinguish between modality forms in the text, and you will be able to define them in the text. So we have some outcomes, results from this lesson, and you will be aware about the modality in discourse texts, and you will be aware about the modality forms, and you will have clear understanding about their differences. So modality in English, so what is that? Modality is defined as a grammaticalized expression of the subjective attitudes and opinions of the speaker. It is a semantic concept providing the semantic information associated with a native speaker's attitude or opinion about what is said. Modality in English, the characteristics of English, the modal verbs, like here is given, modals are always finite. For example, appear in present or past tense forms. So here is given some example, will and would. Will is a present, would is past tense form. The modal verbs never ever occur in non-finite clauses because they do not have non-finite verb forms like to or ing or ed and etc. And it cannot be like may or to may or may. They are never ever just formed by its tense. So modals can be directly negated by the negative particle not, like here's given the example, will not. And negative forms can be contracted like won't. And modals can undergo inversion in interrogative clauses like will she go? Will she go? Here is the inversion. The will, the word, the modal will, just change its place and fronted. Modals can be used as code verbs in ellipses. And you know ellipsis, what does it mean? Ellipsis, it means omitting the words. So here is also just some modals can be ellipses. So I can play the piano, but she can't. And the continuation of the she can't, here is given. Just you can see the ellipsis with modal verb. Modals are not found in imperative clauses. Just you never ever just use the modals in imperative clauses, like can go out, X. And modals do not co-occur in a clause except in some non-standard dialects, like she might could go. She might could go. They never ever just come together, like 2 or 3 modals together. Modals do not inflect for the subject, verb agreement, or morphemes, like as, he can. You never ever just use as the modals. So modals always take infinitive verb forms as their complements, like I can play, I can play. Here is the verb is used infinitive verb. Modal always appear at the beginning of the verb phrase, like he may come with us. They always appear at the beginning of the verb phrase. Here is a verb. 3 categories of modals: basic modals, semi-modals or quasi-modals, marginal auxiliary verbs, you can say. The first is basic modals, what they are. There are nine of them: can, could, will, would, shall, should, may, might, and must. These can have different meanings which depend upon the context in which they are being said. Like here is given some examples and the definitions with may, polite request. You use it in polite request only with I or V. May I borrow your pen? Formal permission. You may leave the room. Certainty, less than 50%. Where is John? He may be at the library. And here is the past tense of certainty. He may have been at the library. And here is, you can see that might, it can be used as certainty, less than 50%. Where is John? He might be at the library. He might have been at the library. And also might can be used in polite request, rarely. Might I borrow your pen? Might I borrow your pen? You never, rarely use it. And here is given the should, advisability, and you will try to advise someone to do something. I should study tonight. I should have studied last night, but I didn't. Just here is given the present and future forms, and here is the past forms of should. And should mostly given a certainty, expectation, 90%, you can see that. And she should do well on the test, future only, not present. It is given only future. And she should have done well on the test. It is given the past form of the should. And here you can see the modal must with three meanings, and the user, it's used as strong necessity, like in present and future. I must go to class today, and I had to go to class yesterday. And please pay attention to the past and present forms of the must in strong necessity. In present and future, you can use must, but in the past form, you can use had to. And the second meaning is prohibition. You try to ban something to do. And here is you mustn't open the door. And here is not any past forms of prohibition. And the third meaning of the must, it is 90% certainty, deduction. You can see that. Mary isn't in class. She must be sick, present only. Just you can use the must be in present tense only. Mary must have been sick yesterday. This is the past form of this 90% certainty. And here you can see the will modal. It has three meanings. The first is 100% certainty. He will be here at fixed, future only, not present, not past. Willingness. The hope is ringing. The phone is ringing. I will get it. No, without planning, you will do that. And here is no past tense of the willingness. And polite request. Will you pass the salt, please? This is the polite request in the third meaning of the modal word will. And here you can see that can and could, because can and could, it's more complex in using, because it has more than three meanings. Like we'll see that can be used in ability, informal permission, informal polite request, and impossibility, just negative only. And could can be used possibility, polite request, suggestion, and affirmative only. Certainty less than 50%, and impossibility negative only. Yes, here you can see the present and future tenses examples and past tense examples. Here's only in can, permission, informal permission, there is no any past, and informal polite request, there is no any past form of the can in this meanings. Like here, you can see that would and shall. Would has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 meanings, like polite request, preferences, repeated action in the past, polite for want, and unfulfilled wish. Here you can see that polite requests have not any past forms, and the repeated action in the past and unfulfilled wish, there is no any present or future. And others, just in polite for want, there is no any past forms of polite for want meaning. And shall here is given two meanings: polite question to make a suggestion, like shall I open the window, but there is no any past form of the polite question to make a suggestion of shall. It has a future meaning with I or we. I shall arrive at 9 will more common, you can see that, but there is no any past form of shall. And second type of modals, semi-modals or quasi-modals, you can see that they are had better, have to, have got to be able to, be supposed to, and be going to. They are called just semi-modals or quasi-modals. These verbs act as forms of modality, but not all of them. And they can be marked for tense, like have to and had to, and person has to, like you can see, and cannot co-occur with modal verbs like will have to. They will just co-occur, they will come together with modals too. And here you can see that semi-modals had better, be supposed to, have to, and have got to. There is no any past forms of had better and be supposed to in expectation meaning. But unfulfilled expectation, there is no present or future forms, but there is only past form of the be supposed to with unfulfilled expectation. And here you can see that have to, the first is necessity and the second lack of necessity. There is the future, present, and past forms of the have to. You can see that. Have got to. This is also necessity. This is also necessity, and it has present and future and past forms of the word. And be going to and be able to, like here is given with 100% certainty and prediction, like intention. Here is all the present and future forms, but not in the past. But unfulfilled intention here is only just past tense form. There is no any present or future in here. Be able to, the ability, just you can see that the past and present future forms are given here in ability. And the third types of modals, marginal auxiliary verbs, they are need, they are used to, and ought to, you can see that. And they resemble modal auxiliaries like should or must, etc. And they can also be as main verbs without any difference in meaning. Yet they can be used like with the main verbs here. Dare and need, you can see that as modals. They are followed by bare infinitive like not or proceed. I dare not speak to the dean about this. I would not speak to the dean. We needn't tell the dean about this. We mustn't tell the just you can see that the meaning, how just other modals can be equalized with dare and need here given with equals. And they invert with the subject the information of yes or no questions. Just dare I speak to the dean about this? Need we tell the dean about this? Yes, they invert with the subject in the formation of yes and no questions too. This is also just a general questions can be. They do not inflect for the subject verb agreement morpheme like as, there is no. No one dare approach him before breakfast. Here dare is not used with the suffix as or everyone need approach him at the right time, because need and dare here modals and the morphemes never ever just can be added to the modals. Dare and need here is given, not modals, just main verbs. As main verbs, they are followed by to infinitive. They require do insertion when negated by not in yes no questions, like I didn't dare to speak to the dean about this. We do not need to tell the dean about this. Do I dare to speak to the dean about this? And do I need to tell the dean about this? Here you can see that dare and need are used as main verbs, not modals. They inflect for the subject verb agreement morpheme as, you can see that no one dares to approach him before breakfast. Everyone needs to approach him at the right time. Here, dare and need are not modals. They are used as main verbs. And here you can see that in this table with the meaning and the expressions with examples. They are expressing threatening rebuke, need, obligation, making decisions about the future, no obligation, and necessity in the past. So it is used with some meanings of need and dare in this table. And the used to and out to, you can see that they only very rarely occur without to, used to and out to, as main verbs, like you can see that. They require do insertion when negated by not and in yes, no questions, in general questions, you can say. They did not ought to do that sort of thing. Did we ought to have done this job? Did he used to smoke or he didn't used to smoke? Yes, you can see that with two, they are used with two. Here is, and also just do inversion, did, or didn't. You can see that in negative questions and negative sentences or questions. You can see that. And as modals, they precede not, ought not to. Here is modal are used as modals, used not to. You can see that, not as main verbs. We ought not to tell the dean about this. We use not to prepare the samples as carefully as is. Ought to inverse with the subject in the informational questions, while used to it doesn't. And here you can see that the differences between ought to and used to. Ought we to tell the dean about this. Ought to inverse with the subject. Here you can see ought just in front of. And here's the meanings of used to and ought to. Used to has two meanings: repeated action in the past situation that no longer exists. And here you can see that there is no any future and past form. And ought to has advisability, 90% certainty, expectation, you can see that. And here's present and past forms you can see in with ought to. The two main functional distinctions of modality. So the first is extrinsic epistemic modality and intrinsic deontic modality. So in discourse analysis, you usually follow these two types of modality because you can never ever just see always the modals with only just modal forms, but just lexemes or the words can be used as modals too. The first is extrinsic or epistemic modality. It's concerned with the beliefs, opinions, or understanding and knowledge. You see that? Beliefs, opinions, understanding, and knowledge. And it has as its basis that what the speaker knows about the world. These words express likelihood, possibility, or prediction of a proposition. It may snow today. You see that here use the modal word may, but we can just turn this. The weather may turn bad this evening. The weather may turn bad this evening. Here is used just a may and may. And you can use some expressions like likelihood or possibility or prediction instead of may. And second types of the intrinsic deontic modality, it speaks about agent-controlled actions and events. It calls for an action to be taken. These verbs express obligation, volition, and its permissionability. Just this is the second types of modality. And here is given some examples to understand. I will choose the yellow pencil. I will choose the yellow pencil. Here is volition here, you can see that. And this computer can do many things. This computer can do many things. Here's ability, you can see that. And there are some words that you can use in this course instead of will in this meaning and can do it in this meaning. So it must be late now. Prediction epistemic must be. You may open the window. This is also granting permission deontic. And this is all. So thank you very much. The lesson is over, and in the next lesson we just continue our lesson 2. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, just leave it on a Moodle platform. Just you can be answered in one by one. Thank you very much. Bye bye.